Yeah, we have a special impromptu edition of the Johnny Show with Kris Freeman, who came to pick up his skis for the winter.
Oh, you're getting new skis.
I got new skis.
Well, you must be a little serious.
Yeah, well, I don't think I could ever race without a little seriousness.
Did you give him some of the cast-offs, or are they really new?
I will have you know, they are brand new race stock Fishers, thanks to
Fishers?
Fisher has continued to support Kris
What?
in his retirement because he is, he's been on Fisher since what? He was 18 years old or something.
Yeah.
And
I knew he was on the dole someplace.
Exactly.
He says
I'm a special retiree.
he says he's not getting
Hey,
quite
did you
enough.
know the Craftsbury Marathon is Masters National Championships this year?
I could be a master's.
And
next
do you
year.
know how old he is? He's no longer an M1.
Uh-oh.
I'm 39.
39.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, I won the Masters once, I think at Stowe. There was one other competitor, but they had a race up there, and 2 or 3 races, and I was overall age class champion. I was about 70 then.
Well,
There were only 1 or 2 other guys.
Kris has a pretty good shot because I think, like Pat Weaver and Eli Inman, I think they're in the older age category. So.
30.
I don't have to worry about them in my age category. It's
39.
good.
39.
Yeah.
I
Next
thought
year
that-
I'll move up into their category.
And that's what happens, The guys in the lower end of the age group, they go like hell. They get in there at 40, 41, and then 50, 51, or whatever it is, and they clean up. And then when they get to the end of the age group,
I know the system well. My dad talks about it.
yeah, right, yeah. Is he still racing?
Oh, he's still racing. I think he's an M7 now.
He's
What
got
does that
one
make him?
now. I think he might be
M8?
What does that make him?
70.
80?
70.
70.
1.
Yeah.
77.
Good. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Speaking of Masters, is your grandson-in-law a master? I heard from Simi why he didn't qualify.
what did he say?
He tipped over.
He tipped over?
He face planted. Iced up at the top of the hill. Whack!
I stopped.
Yeah.
Well, must have been something wrong with the wax.
I don't know. He tripped
I
over.
didn't.
Perhaps they sent the men out on the women's wax again.
Wouldn't be the first time. hey, be fair. The women seem to have very good skis, so.
Yeah, they did. Sophie was doing pretty. I wrote Sophie, and I said it looked like you ran out of high test gas in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And then I said, were the boys disappointed? I haven't heard from her, but
The boys were disappointed.
Sophie's not really a good person to get the dirt from.
who?
Sophie. She's
No.
not going to.
She's pretty positive.
She's not going to report the
Yeah.
nitty-gritty.
No.
But oh well.
So it turned out Claybo's in pretty good shape.
Jesus.
We just watched the final.
Do you see him? He just going up there when he just runs in front of those guys across. Shifts 5 lanes.
Why didn't you do that?
Running on my skis like that didn't occur to me. It didn't occur to anyone, really.
I call it the snowshoe run because when Claybo, especially when he runs, he lifts his foot up and the tip drops like a snowshoe would if you were running. They gallop up. They call it the what? Moose run or something.
Well, I was actually I was teaching some master's clinics a few weeks ago, and we were going over bounding, and I was actually saying to Zach, that with the way people are running like they're on snowshoes now, how do you even approach teaching bounding? And I wasn't quite sure what the progression would be.
Well,
I
what
taught
do you do?
I taught
But
at old
still-
school.
Yeah.
I'd try to learn that run
Oh yeah.
if I was skiing.
Sure.
But do you need to learn regular bounding first and then go into that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
I'd put a guy on snowshoes, tell him to run, and then say, "Okay, put you on skates." Yeah.
You're ready.
All right.
I've used snowshoes, and I've seen guys in these snowshoe races, and that's exactly what happens. They lift the foot up, and the tip goes down like that, and just like the skis. Oh well, that's good. Good for Claybo though. He just head and shoulders above everybody.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Until they can run hills like he can.
I have to say the overall field didn't impress me as much as on a championship year. I would say that a lot of people field looks a little soft compared to.
They're staying home, I think. But I thought we agreed all the men's races were quite close. The women's races were.
They were close.
Yeah.
Yep, very close.
There were 6 together, but I think that was due to the course.
Well, until the final, when Macon
Yeah.
went away, but I think if Sadie and Stina hadn't gotten tangled up on that upper
Yeah,
corner, it
yeah.
might have been a different race.
It came to a stop. Yeah, that was bad. Oh well. Jeez.
Well, what do you guys think for the distance races? Any thoughts on that? Chris, you've had some experience on that Cusimo course. What's it take?
It takes a lot of horsepower, so I would predict that artificial horsepower will do well, so Bolshinov will be on the podium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kleibo's also in really good shape. He hasn't shown the horsepower in the past on courses like that, but I think his fitness is, I wouldn't be surprised if he was also on the podium.
Yeah, seems good.
But unfortunately, I think the Russians will be up there. And it's just going to be a Russian-Norwegian show.
Yeah, classic.
Prediction for the top U.S. finish? What do you think?
I really hope that we get some guys in the points tomorrow. But I don't think it's going to happen. No, not based off of the way Beta Stallone went last week. If the US ski team actually waxes the men's skis with men's wax and actually retest between the races, I think we can get some guys in the high 20s tomorrow. But then that's a big if.
Norris seems to be in pretty good shape.
Norris is in good shape. Bjornsson's always a wild card. And then Patterson hasn't shown much in Beta Stallone, but it's early. You don't know.
I think.
But I don't think we're going to be. I'm not seeing any top 20s, top 10s tomorrow based on what I saw in Beta Stallone.
How about for the women?
I think Sadie could be on the podium.
Jessie
Jessie will be up there. Rosie's had a great start so far this year, so top 20, top 15 for her.
I think the Norwegians, about this time every year, some Norwegian comes out out of nowhere, and wins. Somebody might beat Bolshinov tomorrow, like a Norwegian, but.
Ustiagov and Bolshinov.
Ustiagov, easy to discount because he false started today and didn't get to ski the first heat. That's why we haven't been talking about him.
Right. Too many amphetamines in there?
That disqualifies him. That's right, he didn't finish, so he's done.
He can ski the other races. Well, I don't know. Maybe he can't.
I thought you had to
He
finish
should be
every
able to
race.
start
No,
tomorrow,
I think
but not the pursuit.
No,
He's got a qualifying time. He just got relegated.
he just got relegated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll race. Well, he may come back with vengeance. Yeah. Ustikov.
They've done some weird things with his starter. I feel like
Yeah, he's been really inconsistent in the last couple of years.
well, not his performance, whether he gets to start the race.
Yes.
And how much is that tied to the Sochi scandal? Like,
I have no
is it
idea.
just for appearances? Like, we're talking about Sochi this week. Let's pull Ustiagov out and we'll put Bolshinov in there.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. No comment. No comment on Russian doping.
Why not? Well, we commented on it last night.
Yeah,
We
right.
had a whole conversation about it in the pre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Can you give me a refresher? Because I'm interested.
Oh, we were just talking about what we thought would happen with the latest scandal with the lab records having been tampered with. I believe WADA suggested a 4-year national ban, but that would allow individual athletes to prove their innocence somehow and race under a neutral flag.
Yes, I saw that as well.
And then Tiger came out and said, no, they should all be banned.
Well, good for Tiger.
Yeah.
But then the waffles will start. What is it? That CAS or whatever it is. They'll plea to them.
Well, Chris and I were talking earlier, and it's worth reiterating that participation in sport is a privilege, it's not a right. We're not talking about a human rights issue, and it's really easy to get caught up when you start talking about a court in rights and innocence
Yeah.
until proven guilt. I I disagree with the idea that you have a fundamental right to compete. I think it's a privilege.
Well, I agree, but that doesn't mean that the big wheels won't allow Russia or some Russians to sneak back in there somehow.
It just means they shouldn't.
Well, the big wheels usually have a lot of money and a lot of TV pull, so
And-
that's where that comes from. But
Including the Russians, yeah.
I mean, and because it's not a life and death thing, you know, if one innocent skier got thrown under the bus when they didn't deserve to be, and it kept 200 Russians, or excuse me, 200 dopers off of the starting line, I would be okay with it. It's not like you're putting someone in jail for the rest of their life. They have to do something else.
What if it was you in 2008?
I'd be really, really pissed. And I would have spent my whole life getting back at whoever was fucking in charge of that. But it would have been better for the sport if they had cleaned it up. And I would have figured something else out to do. I think at this point, no, I still wouldn't be over it, but I still believe that it's not a right. And if you get caught up in a bunch of smoke, you probably did something to put yourself there.
Yeah.
You know, just thinking about Andres Verpelu's disciple from Polteron.
Polterainen, yeah.
Who had blood extracted. He admits to having blood extracted, thinking about re-injecting it, but he didn't do it.
Thank God.
He saw the light. You know? I don't care. That's enough.
Yeah.
You're out for life.
Who was the guy from Estonia that used to come on strong and every...
Verpelu, that's who.
Oh.
What Verpelu was the.
Oh, Verpelu. Yeah, but I thought we were talking about Polterainen. Polterainen too.
He was.
Verpelu was coaching Polteron.
Yeah, Verpelu was running the training group.
Oh yeah, okay, but Verpelu, he's familiar with.
Yeah.
He's familiar with peaking. We're going to help you peak. That's what they say.
Yes.
So, oh yeah.
Kris is familiar with peaking Estonians.
Peaking what?
Estonians.
Oh yeah.
He missed the podium at World Championships
Yeah.
twice because of
Verpelu.
Estonians. Well, once was Yakmai, and once was.
Ah yeah. Those guys. And where do you suppose they picked it up from? When they were skiing for the USSR, long time ago. Yeah. Yes. They knew all the contacts. They knew who to get to.
Well, they don't think. Did they even need contacts beyond Matty?
Alavar.
Alavar.
Yeah.
They didn't need anything beyond that, right?
No, I think he was the guy who organized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, this turned into the doping show, not the Johnny show, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
well, the thing is can you even talk about cross-country skiing without turning into talking at the doping show?
Good point.
I mean, next year we can talk about the fluoro.
The fluoro
The
doping
fluoro
show.
doping
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to that yet. That's a very.
That's going to be really great.
How are they going to control that?
They're
That's,
not.
They're not.
Yeah.
Honor system.
Can you?
So I'm thinking,
Honor system, yeah.
the Russians somehow devised a system to open unopenable bottles, swap urine and put it back in. I wonder if they're going to
They're gonna figure out how to put florals.
Do you think they might make their own ski wax?
Jesus. Well, that's, maybe somebody will develop, when you finish the race, you ski across a little chasm or something with some kind of raise or test going up and
They've got a test on the way in because after the race, it's
worn off.
It's worn off,
Yeah.
and there's cross contamination. And
Oh, they do
it's
it
too
before
muddy.
that.
Yeah, they have to do it before.
Just
the race.
before the start gate. Yeah, after the start gate. Everybody skis across the thing.
Just don't rub your waterproof jacket on your ski because you'll be disqualified.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
after the
I
start.
also wonder, if they come up with this test, what's the penalty going to be? You can't start today?
Good question.
So then you just put a bunch of florals on, or you don't get tested the next time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, if you look at the doping protocols and the penalties, they're a joke. I can't possibly imagine they're going to put any type of penalties in place for fluorocarbons that are going to actually deter people.
Yeah, we'll see. It will be interesting.
But in this day and age, they ought to have a system where after you start, some machinery detects bad wax, and 100 meters down the track, some gate goes down, you know, stop, you know, like a toll gate at a bridge, you know, not
How about a
150
sniper
meters.
with a tranquilizer dart?
What?
A sniper with a
Well,
tranquilizer
we
dart.
could do that too.
We could just put Kris down there. Anyone he sees coming and he thinks the skis look too fast, he just-
Shoot him in the knees. shoot him in the knees.
Well, John, what's your opinion on the fluoro ban in the first place? Do you think it's a necessary thing to do, or is this just, you know, catering to the environmentalists?
Yes, I think it's a lot catered to the environmentalists, but you can make all sorts of arguments. Now, an article the other day says Vermont has more wood stoves per capita, and wood smoke is bad. And a lot of Vermonters are saying we're recycling. We burn wood, but it grows back again. So we're recycling. We're green, but we're polluting the hell out of the
So
atmosphere.
when they did the fluorocarbon ban, I was doing a training ride, and I was thinking to myself, okay, how many times have I flown back and forth to Europe in my
Yeah,
career?
right.
And the number I came up to was roughly 30.
Yeah.
30 times.
Yeah.
And I had a long career with some of those years. I flew to Europe 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I flew there 30 times. I flew to New Zealand 8 times. I flew to Japan and China once. I can't possibly believe that the fluorocarbons I put on my skis are 1% as damaging as the carbon I put into the
Absolutely.
sky training to get to the race
Absolutely.
with 200 pounds of gear.
And the skiers have been talking about that themselves, the cross-country skiers. They say we're taking all these trips around, and maybe we should do something about it. We're polluting. We're part of the problem.
So I understand that the fluorocarbons are not good for the environment, but there's so many other facets of the sport that are far worse for the environment that maybe we should at least keep the purity of the sport when we finally get to the venue together, rather than all compound the carbon issue in the world and then get there and then just point at each other and say you're using fluoros and you're using fluoros.
Now, I don't like the way you're talking, Kris, because I stand to make a lot of money out of this fluorocarbon ban.
Yeah, right.
When everyone starts realizing that they have to spend more on skis and grinds, this is good for business.
Yeah.
And then when they see the fluoro-free alternative waxes coming along and they see they're priced right about the same as the fluoro waxes, but they still need to spend the money on skis and grinds because the fluoro-free waxes aren't as good. This is going to be very good for business, so I'd appreciate if you modify your
I
arguments.
thought you were already tapped out. You don't even want my business. do you?
he's hiring more people.
Yeah, do you need? If you're just saying how you don't have a job yet, I was thinking
There
maybe
you go.
I could turn you on the grind.
All right, the fluoro ban's good.
Yeah, he's looking for a job. There you go. Well, oh boy, yeah. Well, next thing you know, they'll start looking into the manufacture of all these plastic skis, and there must be a lot of pollutants.
No,
involved
now
in
look,
it.
you're right. There are, and
There you
maybe
go.
the manufacturer of all sorts of stuff should be looked into. But these fluorochemicals are non-biodegradable. They are bioaccumulative. They don't go away, and that's the scary part. The concentrations on this in the ski wax and on the skis are really vanishingly small. But the regulatory efforts to control fluorocarbons in industry are they're laudable. We shouldn't have this stuff in the supply chain, in the consumer cycle. It should be phased out. It is being phased out. Whether or not the FIS is virtue signaling by trying to jump ahead of that whole regulatory phase out and ban it is arguable. And I think it's arguably pretty clear that they are in fact trying to get some good PR and
Sure.
get ahead of this.
But
It's hard to.
That's what the annoying thing to me, though, is that they are just doing it to get good PR. If they actually cared about the environment, they'd restructure the way the World Cup was done. They'd stop having people go around the world. They're just picking on one little thing
Yeah,
that they can say, look what we're doing, it's good for the environment.
They're
And,
very
and it's
It's good.
health. There is health concerns as well.
yeah, but if there was, come on, if fluorocarbons killed you, you'd be dead.
No, but I know a lot of people who will.
Okay. I'm not saying it's good for you, but I've seen you suck down more fluorocarbon than I will ever suck down in my life. And you're still here.
I'm still here.
They're the FIS very clever. They're very PR oriented, and they're 2 or 3 years ahead of us. I mean, I think they came up with this idea. I mean, somebody said, "Hey, we better do something before they nail us," and they listen. They're trying to promote the sport the last several years, they promoted big ski events in China, Korea. That's big time.
Yeah.
And China, how many skiers are they going to add to the pool in the world?
Right.
Millions. And so
Just making sure. they're still-
they figure that's their duty, their mission. They're right, you know. They do all these promotional things. They got a promotion committee.
All right, we've got almost 23 minutes of video here.
That's more than anybody wants to
No
listen
one's
to.
gonna sit.
I don't think anyone's made it this far.
They won't.
What, should we offer a prize to anyone who's made it this far?
They can look at it at night and
You're
go
the one
to
with
sleep.
all the stock. What do you want to add?
Go to
Oh,
sleep.
we'll send one of those hats I gave you.
What about an autographed card of mine?
Oh, grab one of the cards. I'll get you a pen. Yeah.
Which is second grade.
How
Okay, you need to come up with a good. No, you can come up with whatever you want.
What do you want me to write? Is John's gonna autograph it too, right?
You gonna autograph it as well? Sure. Oh yeah.
Sure.
well, I can if you want.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
can
I think our signatures stand on their own.
Okay, that sounds good.
Well, they should take up ice skating.
This is my latest autograph card. Proud of it. Haven't had one in a couple years.
There you go. You got autograph.
I'm supposed to sign it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think right there would be good, John.
Where? Oh, God, Kris Freeman. There you go.
Okay, first person who claims it gets it. Caldwell Sport will cover the postage. You just gotta guess your address. By any means of contact, if you want this thing, you just gotta ask for
Phone starts ringing.
it. I don't think so.
I
All right.
No, they're not. We're not even at the end of the.
Oh, hey, well, thank you for your time, both of
Oh,
you.
sure.
We'll reconvene
Yeah,
again.
a pleasant
Next
surprise
opportunity.
to see you. I haven't
That was good.